All right, we are at the end of the fourth line from the top, page Chaf Aleph. But we'll go from the beginning of that line. Reshimu hi b'chinas keach ne'elam.
Yesterday, at the end, you were going to say something and you said, we'll see later. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, well, we were very much engrossed in a certain point. I thought, at the moment that what I was going to say is, there's much more what we understand on a subtle and a hidden manner than that which expresses itself, which we consciously understand. Without that, we are dodos. That's not real understanding. There's chochmah and bina. Bina is the whole structure, and his action, makes his point and argues. The real essence of that understanding that gives chayes is chochmah. That gives it reality. Without that, there's nothing there. There's no chayes. There's much more understanding of the level which we are not aware of than at the level that we are aware of. That's what's the point.
It's a different type of understanding. It's a different type of understanding.
Yes. A different type of understanding is right. It gives it reality. This is what I mean by reality. We asked yesterday a very kind of an odd question, like Boris said. No, this is a tricky question. Remember that one?
The room, the empty room.
Right. Reshimu hi b'chinas koyach ne'elam. Fourth line from the top. The reshimu is the aspect of koyach ne'elam, of a subtle and an under the covers koyach. A koyach that functions but it doesn't announce itself. The hamshocha mishom, and the hamshocha from there, he b'chinas hel. The hamshocha from the reshimu is in a helem, is a helem type of hamshoch. Which means it has an effect, but it does not relate to that effect. It does not announce itself. This is like in our moshel, serving in buffet style. Serving buffet style, you're providing everything except for yourself. Not announced. Okay, we continue further. And similarly, a similar thing is replicated at a further level. V'izhavos hakelim bepoyel. The kelim are being created. Bepoyel means in actual fact. Shehu alidei ha'oiros. The kelim are created. Bepoyel means alidei ha'oiros. It is through the oiros. We already had this type of expression. His havos bepoyel. His havos akelim bepoyel. His havos bepoyel has a very sharp implication. There is his havos that develops inadvertently, and then there is havos that is bepoyel, that is by intent. Bepoyel means that it's being done intentionally to be that, not that there is an available provision and it happens by itself. This is his havos bepoyel. It's not different than the Rishonim that we already had, but I want to give another element to this, that we can see how subtle this meaning is. If you invite people to your home, you have to provide seats, chairs for each person. You have chairs piled up someplace in the corner in your closet. People come in, he needs a chair, he goes and picks up a chair and puts it down and sits down. That seat is created inadvertently, as needed, because I can't stand. We explained many times that which is given to a person is not merely a response to a need, but it's out of respect, out of the recognition of who he is, or what a human being is. A human being should not be left standing, not because it's inconvenient, because it's really respectful. It's a completely different element, different phenomenon. So, there could be his havos by virtue of its self-developing. You have chairs, a person comes in, he needs a seat, he takes a chair and he creates a spot for himself. That's self-developing. That's not something that the host has created. His havos bepoyel, this is what kelim bepoyel. Kelim are created bepoyel, which means that they're created not because they're needed, but because they're intended to be there.
So here's showing both on the actuality and on the intention.
That's right. That's what bepoyel means.
Okay.
That's what bepoyel is. A sechel, a thought. A thought is real not because it can be expressed in words. As we said before, right in the answer to this morning, that you know much more in a hidden way than that which you can express. So that is there. What is the significance of it being expressed and put into words in the kelim? So you could say that the kelim come only because I need, or whoever it is, needs to present the sechel to someone else. This means that the kelim are created by the guest himself.
As a means to an end.
As a means, I need to know, so they can only present it to a kid. But that's not his habits in the pale. A person who has a concept, the Rab who has a concept, he places this concept into words, not only as a means to express it to someone else, but as a means to have it for himself. This is where the sechel itself creates a keli. This is how the kelim are created. Bepoil. Bepoil means intention, and they create alidei ha'oros. They create alidei ha'oros, not from an external demand, from a certain need. The sechel itself, the oir, brings about the creation of the kelim.
Well, the or brings about the creation of kelim. I mean, when that Rav has sechel, he uses pre-existing osius, avanim, to expose his sechel. It's not as if that sechel creates the avanim and the words.
That's correct. There's no question about it. But and the avonim, the structure of the avonim, that is the creation of the kelim.
That arrangement. Now,
but one second. This is skipping around. We said on the onset, I hope you understood it, then I hope you remember. What is a reshimu? What is the reshimu? Reshimu, the moshe for reshimu is you have a paper with writing on it. Then you erase the writing, so you no longer can read the concept and the message that was written there. But you cannot erase the trace that something was written there. So what's so significant about that? These are pencil markings that means nothing at all. I'd like to see that you should help me out. So what is the significance of it?
It shows you that what was there had such a significance to it that it was worthy of being written down.
What is it? To the person who wrote it, the one who had the chochmah, who had the concept, for he has it. You do not have a full expression of that chochmah unless you write it out. That shows that this is for real, that it has a real presence. It is not present just under certain circumstances. And it has its own presence. This is why it's being written down. So even though the writing itself has been erased, but it tells you that there was something very real over here that deserved to be written down, that demanded to be written down. This is the reshimu. The similar inyan is havas hakelim bepoil from the ohrot. The ohrot are created by the kelim.
Ohrot create the kelim. I thought we had the opposite, either before or later on, that they are from the reshimu, not from ohrot.
Okay. The ohrot create the kelim. But how do the others create the kelim? If you say the oil create the kelim, it means that the oil needs the kelim to express itself. That is not the point. The point is it's the reshimu. It is that where is the oil, the sechel come from? Where the sechel comes from is bigger than the sechel itself. It is more real than the sechel itself. And the only way to capture that reality is by putting it into kelim.
Okay. That's like saying a level beyond sechel makes for kelim.
Yeah, but it comes through only when you have the sechel. B'peil mamash, it comes through the oiris. If you didn't have the sechel, the oir, you would not even think of making a kelim. So his havas hakelim bepoel shehu alidei ha'oiris, which is through the oiris. Which to us, these words, like you said, but this is not what we said before. It means bear with us. The poel mamash, it comes from the oiris. If you didn't have the sechel, you wouldn't create a kelim. In this phenomenon, or these havas hakelim bepoel, or the kelim coming down to a bepoel level, which is through the oiris. In this process, there are these two inyonim, that on the one hand, oiris is oir, but it is created helam, in a nelam, in a concealed manner. This is what we are heading up, because as I say at the end of the fourth line, it says v'chein b'zhavas hakelim. V'chein means likewise. Just as the dereshimu essentially is a koyach nelam, v'chein similarly b'zhavas hakelim bepoel, when the kelim are created bepoel, in actual fact, by action, by intended action. Shehu alidei ha'oiros, which is through the oiros. It is the oiros that demand on a poetic level, on a functional level, to create the kelim. In there is this element of helam. Okay, there is an element of helam. Kanal perik ches, as we said earlier, that the kelim are created to the oiros. Sheha'oir hu b'chinas gilui. Excuse me. But the oir is the aspect of gilui. Gilui means that there is a full expression. And oir, actually, as we said all along, gilui means that there is a direct connect to the source. Oir can never be severed from its source. Hine. So in that phenomenon of the kelim being created through the oil, and the oil is b'chinas gilui. So if the oil is b'chinas gilui, therefore the kelim would also have gilui, because the oil is what's created. However, we say no. Hine. Yisa be'ez chayim. However, it says in its chayim, she'ez havos hakelim, that the actual creation of the kelim, hu alidei, it comes about as a result of P'giyas ho'er yoshor bo'er choiser. P'giyas, okay, this is, I need you with me. P'giyas ho'er yoshor bo'er choiser. I know it's a totally novel terms and so forth, but we're trying to learn what the Rebbe is teaching us.
Where are we?
We are on page Chaf 6 lines from the top. P'giyas ho'er yoshev ho'er chayzer. P'giyas means the meeting. the clashing of the Oir Yoshor with the Oir Chayzer. Shemakim zeh bozeh. Would they hit one another? There's a crash. So, before we go into this, I'm going to go through a couple of lines and see how the Rebbe presents it, and then we'll go back. Oil Yosher v'Chayzer, just to translate the words. Oil Yosher means direct current. Oil Chayzer means reverberating, indirect current. In simple terms, that you present the illustration of that in Oil Yosher means like when you throw a ball and the ball flies into the direction that you threw it. That's directly reflecting the throw. But then this ball hits a wall, and then it reverberates from the wall and it goes the opposite direction to the one that you threw it to. That's called Oir Chayzer. It reverberates back. We once discussed the phenomenon of Oir Yosher and Oir Chayzer. When we look at it in the Gashmistic illustration, we ask, what is this all about? What's so significant about this? Yeah, you throw a ball in it and it reverberates back. In very simple terms, you threw the ball in this direction. If the ball contained exclusively the ability to fly in the direction that you threw it, because that's what you provided it with the flight in this direction. Then when it hits a wall, what should happen?
Could either stop or go through the wall.
Either stop or go through the wall. Exactly right. But flying back, that's not part of what was imparted to it. It can be absorbed, finished, and the ball hits a wall and falls right down, 90-degree angle.
By this description, it sounds like something unintended, like a lacking or a chaotic response.
No.
It was the original intention, and now something unexpected is happening, yes?
No, this is what we are saying. What in fact is happening?
Yeah.
What's happening is that this throw, even though it is expressing itself in a very clear directed manner, but it actually contains a much more general quality.
Much more general what?
Quality.
It's bigger than it seems. There's more there.
That's right. The throw itself, the move of the arm is in the direction. But who threw it? The human being. That koyach of the human being is much more encompassed, much more general than being able to throw it in this direction.
And the bounce back reflects that.
The source of that throw.
It was a human being who threw it?
Yeah.
That's why it returns to him?
Mm-hmm.
That's the,
Well,
that's the
something to go with. just to understand. We spoke about it many times, but ohrot represents even a deeper element than Yosher.
How does the fact that it bounces back refer to the fact that it came from a person as opposed to just that it goes in
Because
a direction?
this throw itself
Yeah.
has only the ability to fly in one direction.
Right.
Why doesn't it stop and fall down at a 90-degree angle? It hits the wall. It can go in the direction that body was provided, so it falls down. Like we said, the illustration from this animal, the beaver, it says, like it cries like a beaver. Why does it cry? Because it's facing a trap, and it doesn't have the ability to turn around and go around the trap. It has only the ability to walk in the direction that was planned. It's like somebody who got instructions. Want to go to Montreal? Okay. Here is how you go to Montreal. You take this street, and you take this street, and you take this street. Then it comes to a blockage, construction blockage. He's stuck. He sits and waits
There's no sense that Montreal exists as an actual place.
until the blockage gets off. He doesn't know or anything else. He's afraid that if he turns off the street, it's going to fall right down an abyss. There's nothing there. There's only this street. It's like walking on a tightrope.
That being said, there are miles to Or Yasha, but that's not the topic here.
What?
That being said, there are advantages to the Or Yasha. We don't have to get into it, but
What is the point?
it seems like Or Yasha would be the guy who goes and then he doesn't have any bounce back. He sees an obstacle and he has to stop there.
Right.
But in reality, Or Yasha has its own set of advantages. It's not just so limited. Or
What are you concerned about? What's your
I'm
concern?
trying to get the picture about each of them, because we said Puglia, right? The conflict between the
Right,
meeting of the
right,
two of
right.
them. Maybe I'm jumping.
You're
ahead.
concerned about the sensitivities of the Yosha.
Or I'm already thinking into how they meet or what each one's bringing. That's all. Yeah.
The reason why a person throws the ball at the wall is so that it should bounce back and you should catch it. Is that what you're talking about?
No. The Yosha has its own purpose, and the Chosher is a different phenomenon. Normally, you read this. Oh, it makes sense. Oh, then you come to, but how is this coming over here? Based on the thought process that I've developed so far, how does this come in? This is the Yosha led you there. It's very valuable. If not for Yosha, you wouldn't even sense that there is something additional here. So the Yosha definitely has its value. Don't worry about him.
So the ohrot, it's the fact that the ball has capacity to I guess it has something put into it which it didn't have in an open manner originally. That the ohrot is the fact that the ball can bounce back is the
The
fact
Yosha is reflecting that which hit the wall is not the Yosha, but the source of the Yosha.
there's more potential than what just we saw in the ball's beginning.
I'm surprised. You hear every day, and you don't understand. Shocking.
No,
And you're a
you're
sharp man.
This is a new thing.
No.
This is a new
No,
thing.
no.
I can ask a question.
No.
I'm not
No.
even asking a question. I'm just saying.
No. I'm telling you again and again and again. You're a smart man. but you are doing yourself in. You think coming in the middle of class is coming? It's not coming.
Why?
Because you can't catch, and you can't catch a flight in the middle of flight. To get on the plane, you have to come an hour earlier.
I'm reflecting your words.
Okay, you're reflecting my words, but you're reflecting my words in a very meaningless manner. It doesn't reach you. I'm telling you this. I'm constantly attacking you because you deserve to be attacked. You have so much resource and you don't use it. That hurts. Okay, let's stop. This is Chassidus. So we have to interrupt now. Okay, so tonight the mission sechel.
Tonight is what?
We're going to learn the sechel. You don't know.
Yeah.